October 23, 1939. Dear Marg. Thanks for the letter, dear. You were certainly more prompt in replying than I was, so don't worry about me being annoyed. I am always so pleased to receive your letters that I forgot all my troubles. Isn't that something? I must say that I didn't care for your morbid attitude regarding the Air Force. You see, I am really a fatalist, so if I am going to get it, I can't just duck out of sight and expect to avoid these things. Then again, I crave the excitement, and thirdly, if I come through okay, I will have something to carry on with, as I am getting sick and tired of kicking around a few square miles of country on foot. Of course, I'm not in the force yet, but think I will be able to fix up my papers in a day or so. Regarding the age limit, I am still working that, but they want to give 2 years training if possible, so they naturally prefer lads as young as possible. So my dear, you have no need to worry about me so very much, because so far as I can figure things out, a man has a better chance in the air than anywhere else, and then, as I said before, you have something to carry on with after all the scrapping is over. Although I suppose an airman of today is just tomorrow's truck driver. Went down to Muskoka a week ago Saturday night, left here 5 o'clock and arrived at the lake about midnight. The old place seemed the same, only very quiet. Left the lake at noon Sunday and arrived at Haileybury about 7 in the evening, cold and darn tired, especially as I had to take the early morning train for Raymore to finish my work for the year, I hope. Guess I will have to look for a job for a few months. In fact, there is no guessing about it. Well, darling, old man Winter is trying hard to settle down on us for another season. Yes, we had snow about a week and a half ago, which lasted for 3 or 4 days. Had a little last night, but there is no sign of it now. I wish it were spring coming instead of winter, although I couldn't wish away your skiing, could I? I wish we could get in a little winter sport together, some fun. Right now, it would be about perfect just to see you, while I would want to be closer than that. Gosh, a year is a long time. Yes, I remember you coming up to me on Yonge Street that night. I didn't know whether to kiss you right on the spot or not. God knows I wanted to badly enough, but was a little afraid I might anger you, and that must never happen to us. I think if I get the chance again, I will take it and find the results after. P.S. What will the results be? Well, Marg, it's getting late and everyone has hit the hay. By the way, is your brother in camp yet, or is he still holding his job and training nights? Well, so long for now, dear. As ever. Roger XX. November 12, 1939. Dear Marg. Your letter was waiting for me on my return from Timmins last Friday, or I have been since last Sunday night. Quite a place, Timmins, but oh boy, it was cold and windy, especially Friday morning, as I had an 8-mile walk ahead of me. I got a ride out to a small mine north of the town on the night before. I had to walk out the next morning if I wanted to catch the train home that day. I darn near froze. A felt hat and thin gloves are no good in this country. I walked in the house about 2 jumps ahead of Jack. He has been in Matachewan district looking for a job and has one at the Young Davidson, playing hockey. He goes to work the coming week sometime. I haven't started job hunting as yet, can't seem to get things finished. I hope I can pick up something in the selling line for the winter at least. I have signed up for the Air Force, but Lord only knows when I shall be called. I think I contacted about every Army official in this part of the country. They all say yes, glad to have lads like you and all that sort of stuff, but they don't do anything about it. They probably will if I keep after them enough just to get rid of me. Say, what is this idea you have of going to California and live there? It seems to me you are getting as restless as I am. Just a little dissatisfied with life to date. Well, speaking for myself, I know the cure. The trouble is I am unable to procure it. All I can do is keep a stiff upper lip, as the saying goes. Well, darling, I guess winter is settling on old Toronto just the same as up here, only not quite as fast. We have a couple of inches of snow that looks as if it's here to stay. The small lakes are frozen, makes me think of skating. You will have to excuse this terrible scratching and blunders, as I am in a hurry, as I expect company and I want to put this on the train tonight if I can just get out before they come. So, my dear, I will just wind up with a big cedar wild special. As ever. Roger XX. November 28, 1939. Dear Marg. At last I have a few minutes to myself. I have been job hunting for the past week and a half with no luck to date except 3 days clerking for timber cruisers in Temagami. There is a job down there, but the pay is so little and job so short that a person is taking a knock and even buying an outfit. Oh well, I'm not stuck yet and will start out again Monday, so wish me luck. No dear, I haven't heard anything regarding the Air Force as yet. They have my application papers. I suppose you could call them that, but they wouldn't give me anything definite. I was told I would be called when needed provided I passed the medical exam, which I believe are pretty strict. I would like to know just how everything will turn out, meaning the war, of course. There is no enlisting in Northern Ontario, and some of the lads with their medical papers for mining, and they were turned down. They were told to stick with their jobs. I should think that they would train all the men they possibly could, as this new double blockade and the Russian-Finnish trouble will probably call for manpower. I really believe Russia will take a crack at Finland before the year is out. I wouldn't mind betting that the States will be into it before the end of this coming year. They are preaching this neutrality stuff a little too much. Well dear, let's forget the war for now and talk about you and me for a change. It's much more interesting and more pleasant, don't you think? Have you been skating yet? We have skating on all the small lakes around here. Joyce and Gil skated nearly all last night at Cobalt. I haven't had a chance as yet. I will probably have forgotten by now. I wish you and I could have a good skate on one of these lakes. They say the ice is like glass and hardly any frost cracks as yet. There is absolutely no snow, and although it is cold at night, it's just right during the day. Jack started work at the Young Davidson mines last week. He starts hockey practice this coming Sunday. So far, we have received nothing but a postcard from him. Gosh, just think, old Christmas is just around the corner again. Does time fly? One thing is true, though, it won't be as long around the corner as prosperity has been. Well, darling, I have mother rattling the supper dishes, so that means grub, and I am hungry. My little girlfriend from next door is asking all about you and throwing some strong hints for a supper invitation, so aren't you jealous? She is 4 years old and quite a kid. As ever. Roger XXX.